Hi, everyone. I'm Colleen Frangos, Rocket IT's Community Relationship Coordinator, and welcome to another great episode of Thrive Gwinnett. So today I am very lucky to be joined by Lisa Anders, who is the Executive Director of Explore Gwinnett. So thank you so much, Lisa, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, we'll get started. You know, you've been around for a while with Explore Gwinnett, and this year has been a bit tricky. It is no secret that the hospitality industry has suffered greatly as a result of the pandemic. Lisa, can you tell us a little bit about what that's been like in y'all's role with trying to navigate through such a tough year and how that's taken a hit?
Sure. Yes. Tricky is a generous word.
Right.
We prefer dumpster fire.
Yep.
It has been an extraordinarily challenging year, but the hospitality industry as a whole, we see peaks and we see valleys every 5 to 8 years. This is an extraordinary valley, but it's not one that doesn't have a peak in the future. I'm really hoping.
Right.
I guess we consider like March the 15th sort of P Day.
Yeah.
It's when we really realize like everything is getting ready to shut down. And it's such a disparity between now and then, because like the 2 weeks previous to that, we had like 4 major concerts at the Infinite Energy Arena. We were actually getting ready to kick off Burger and Brews Week, which is one of our really popular restaurant initiatives. So much stuff was in the works, and we were really looking forward to like the best year ever.
Yeah.
And it just really literally stopped. So meaning the Explore Gwinnett team, as well as the Gwinnett Sports Commission, the Infinite Energy Center staff, we really spent the first probably 2 months being what I call hospitality social service workers. We were updating our website for all of Gwinnett County, for our city partners, on what restaurants were open, what restaurants were closed, who was doing delivery, who was doing curbside.
Right.
We were actually providing PPE to our hotel front desk staffs who didn't have it.
Wow.
We provided food to our hotel front desk staffs who were so short-staffed they couldn't go to lunch.
Wow.
So there was a lot of stuff, very unusual things going on for a couple of months. Slowly but surely, I guess the glass half full portion is that since April 15th, so about 30 days after that, almost every single day, we've seen a tiny little incremental growth in hotel occupancy. And we've kind of hit a plateau right now.
Okay.
But, we definitely try to look at the positive side. In Gwinnett County, because we were really diversified in our efforts to bring in different types of groups to Gwinnett, we have held up better than most of, actually all of Metro Atlanta. So we have a long way to go, but we are still leading Gwinnett County. We're leading Metro Atlanta in hotel occupancy.
That's awesome.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah.
But we still have a long way to go. Business travel is still clearly not back. Group travel is very low right now. The Infinite Energy Center had a difficult time with being closed, which has never happened. But they've been open for business since early in the late spring, early summer.
Okay.
And they actually have some concerts that we anticipate will be announced in the next couple of months for the mid to fall portion of 2021.
That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I feel like that, when I was going in to ask you that question, it seemed very, very dark, very heavy, taking a hit this year. But Explore Gwinnett as an organization being able to rally and step up to the plate and support our local businesses, I think you guys really didn't blink. I mean, it's like, let's go, let's keep moving, let's move forward. How can we continue to be an advocate, I think, partly too, and in letting the community know who's open, who's ready for business, and can you give them, maybe do some more takeout meals this week. And I think you guys really did a good job of that.
Thanks. I mean, everyone, and I think we saw this across Gwinnett. There was so much collaboration. I
Yeah.
mean, we ended up working with one of our low income housing groups
Mm.
to move people who were being moved out of an apartment because I think they couldn't afford it into one of our better extended stay hotels, working with the hotel to negotiate a rate that they couldn't actually accommodate on their own.
Yeah.
So it was situations like that that we probably never would have normally even seen. But I think
Right.
what we saw in our office, but across Gwinnett,
Hmm.
was everybody really pivoted pretty
Hmm.
quickly because
Definitely.
everyone really realized like if we don't change the way we're doing things short term, medium term, and even looking into next year, things are not going to operate like they have been. So,
Right.
switching everything to virtual meetings,
Yep.
conferences to virtual conferences,
Right.
and even Infinite Energy Center, our hotels,
Hmm.
my sales staff had already booked. I think there was 85 meetings or events or sports tournaments on the books. And
Wow.
then they spent that next month trying to rebook those for 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
We were fortunate to probably do for about 50% of them. But,
Hmm.
so it just required everyone sitting down and saying, okay, here's the old way, throw it out.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what the new way is. So,
Love
and
that.
there's been real positives out of that, I will say.
Definitely, definitely. And I think we should go into talking about positives and two, collaboration. I think,
Mhm.
our community has done a great job, has great relationships with leaders, in different sectors and different industries, in our Gwinnett community. And Lisa, I think, when you first shared with me the Gwinnett Creativity Fund, I had never heard of that. And what a great thing this is. And I would love for you to share with our viewers, listeners today, what that is, how it came about,
Sure.
and how people can share with their friends who are in the arts industry.
Absolutely. Arts is a big part of Gwinnett County. I mean, there are huge
Mhm.
organizations or larger organizations like the Hudgens Center,
Yes.
but or Aurora Theater, Swanee Arts Center. But
Hmm.
there's a myriad of smaller organizations that day in and day out are doing grassroots arts efforts. So there's
Hmm.
never been sort of a collaborative overall effort to help support those groups. And so
Yeah.
we had already been in conversations with Gwinnett County about how we could accomplish that. And through the support of Charlotte Nash and the Board of Commissioners, we had put together Gwinnett County's first ever arts and cultural grant program, which we had named the Gwinnett Creativity Fund. Um, we were going to roll it out in the middle of 2020,
Hmm.
and sort of in pivot mode. When all this happened, we realized this isn't going to be a regular arts and culture grant fund. This is actually, for at least 2020, going to
Hmm.
be operations grants that are really
Yes.
COVID relief grants to allow these arts organizations to survive. Because, that's the sort of tragedy of this situation is we all feel it on a personal level, all the impact that the situation has had. But some
Yeah.
of the nonprofits, most all of the nonprofits probably, they're ones that aren't going to succeed and
Yep.
survive. So we have a 3-year pilot program,
Hmm.
and it's an arts and culture grant program. We call it the Gwinnett Creativity Fund.
Hmm.
And it offers two types of grants: operations grants and
Okay.
project grants to Gwinnett County based and Gwinnett County programming arts organizations to help them succeed, thrive,
Hmm.
grow, as well as to create projects, initiatives. And that could be anything from, performance,
Okay.
arts classes, or public art.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So it was really successful in its first year, we feel like, and we
Mhm.
really look forward to 2021 because we anticipate a lot of growth.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. No, I think it's great. And I'm glad, that it's going to continue and there's going to be opportunities for arts organizations to apply. Do they have to be a 501c3?
They do.
Okay.
If you go to, anyone who's interested can look at GwinnettCreativityFund.com.
Okay.
and they'll get background. There's pictures of our arts organization's recipients. We were able to grant almost $150,000 in project and
Wow.
operations grants this year.
Nice.
Yeah, we were really excited about it. And the deadline in the program for 2021 will kick
Mhm.
off at the end of January
Okay.
2021.
Wonderful.
The guidelines and the applications are online.
Wonderful.
The contact is on there in case they have a question. But yeah, there are some specific guidelines. You do have to be a 501c3,
Okay.
but there is an opportunity within certain guidelines to partner with another organization. So anyone can always reach out
Wow.
to us if they have any questions. But
That's awesome.
it's we're really poised to see it take off in 2021.
Love it. Love how you guys were able to work with the county and make that happen. And, I'm sure there are several arts organizations who, like you said, without it may not have been able to get through this season. And,
Yeah.
hopefully it's done a lot of good. So I think it's
And
phenomenal.
it was a really, the interesting thing is such a wide range. We had organizations, the budget range, this tells you how broad it is. The budget range for the arts organizations was a really small organization that had a budget of $6,000
Oh,
annually.
geez. Okay.
Yeah,
That's tiny.
not big. Yeah, to something like the Aurora Theater that has a $2 million annual budget.
Right.
So there's everything in between there too. So,
Wow.
but it's a really diverse group
Mhm.
of applicants, and we were really glad that we could support some really non-traditional groups as well this year.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, that's great to hear that. Lisa, that's about all the time we have today. You've been a
Okay.
wealth of information, and I do feel like there are good things ahead. Like we said too, come January 1 of 2021, it doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be poof, everything's fine again. But I think is a
Yeah.
lot of good going on. I think your organization, with you leading the charge, is well on its way to be ready for when things are open, and we can get out and start dining in person and in the restaurants, and going to our hotels here in Gwinnett, and supporting other events and concerts, and we look forward to it. So
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of consumer confidence with the
yeah.
vaccine,
Yes.
and we're really seeing growth in the film industry. The
Yes.
vaccine is going to bring a lot of consumer confidence. So we're
Hmm.
optimistic that especially the third and fourth quarters of 2021
Hmm.
will kind of be a turning point.
Agreed. Agreed. Love it. All right. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate
Awesome.
your time.
Thanks, Colleen.
Thanks. All right. And everybody, thanks so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next episode of Thrive Gwinnett. Bye.